This kind of chicanery can't be tolerated. Ride out and stop this Christophori or Christophori or however he decides he wants to pronounce it today. You must put an end to this before he succeeds with his plan.
Hello, and welcome back to the Lost Legends of Scadrial Mistborn Adventure Game Podcast. I'm your host and narrator, Trevor. You can find me online at 5th of Daybreak, and with me I have the rest of the Lost Legends.
Hi, I'm John. I go by Clovermite Online, and I play Tony Darkomancy.
I'm David, and I play Lord Falcom.
My name is Brian, and my character's called Tajmil.
I'm Kelly, and I play Merda.
Alright, let's jump back in. When we last left off, you guys had just met up with Veers, and were getting ready to head out to the south in search of the Koloss. Were there any other RPing that you guys wanted to do before you got going, or should we say that the rest of the wagons got loaded up and you guys took your places and got ready to get going?
I'm all ready to get going if you guys are.
I forgot the last thing I said, so I'm ready to go.
Lord Falcom is sitting there waiting.
Alright, we will go ahead and make this very first part of the episode a little bit of character management then. I have not given out any advancements this season at all. A little bit of an oversight, a little bit intentional, depending on where you draw that line. But we had a lot to unpack after everybody got done with their solos.
Okay, so we're getting advancements?
Everybody is going to get 6 advancements for
Holy cow.
Everything that has happened up to this point in the season.
Wow, that's a lot. I thought you said you were going to cut back.
6 for 7 episodes versus 2 to 3 each episode.
Oh, right. Good point.
Yeah.
It's, 4 for each character, 4 episodes for each character, but neither here nor there.
Yeah, I'm almost full again. I have 1 empty slot.
You're stingy with yours.
Well, no, you wouldn't let me spend the one that I wanted to do, which I understand, but to be fair, and I thought I did heal that burden, I thought, with it, because
well, that's a burden that you don't need advancements to heal. You just have to spend a whole long rest focused on healing it.
Oh, then we had a long rest since my bruised thigh. The bruised thigh happened.
Yeah, but you've spent those doing other things instead of healing it.
Oh, you have to, forgo any advancements to then use long rest to heal it?
Yep, because instead of spending that time training or researching or whatever it was your character would be doing to gain, a trait, gain an attribute, gain a standing, instead of doing that, your character is focusing on healing, whether it's physical therapy or bed rest or whatever it would need to be done for that injury. And I've kind of cheated it a couple times because I gave out so many advancements.
Yeah, and we were using advancements like we weren't supposed to. We used them not in a full long rest, didn't we?
I did that once or twice, but only because I had overloaded everybody with advancements. And then, along with the advancements, we are going to count this first part of the journey as a long rest. You guys are going to be on the road for 3 or 4 days, with not much going on. And we'll be able to RP some scenes with that, but, if you guys wanted to have some more interactions between each other, probably not 3 or 4 days, but a couple of days, so that way you have time to rest. So everybody will be able to, do one thing this long breather.
Ooh.
Oh, as far as advancement?
Trevor.
What can it be?
What we want it to be.
Anything?
Can you just... Well, you've got the you've got the advancements in the game reference on the right-hand side. That gives most of the ways that you can spend your advancements in a long breather. And then you could also spend it healing your concussion if you wanted to.
And what does my concussion affect?
Other people can use your concussion to give themselves more dice when rolling against you.
Ooh. And how much... I wouldn't be able to take any advancements to heal that, though?
It wouldn't cost you any advancements to heal it. but you wouldn't be able to spend any advancements this time around.
All right, I think that's what I'm gonna do then.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to recover for my bruised thigh, I guess.
But can I recover my concussion by can you describe the scene?
Yeah, you guys are. There's about 3 wagons that are all loaded with tons of goods, supplies for the trip, obviously. But along with that, there are these large, very heavy boxes that were loaded up from the shop, the craftsman's shop, where Lord Falcom's Makaweetle was made. And
What kind of craftsman?
you would have to ask Lord Falcom about that. But there's also 2 wagons for personnel, one in the very front and one in the very back. And he would request that a couple of the party probably be in either of the wagons. So, divide yourselves. Like, how would you guys be divided in groups of 2?
I'd probably be in the back just because I'm a shady character.
I'd probably be riding up front. Lord Falcom be keeping an eye out.
And I imagine with that, Merida would be up front for 2 reasons. 1, because you put the tin eye up front where they can see things. And then 2, because that's not near Tajmil.
Yeah.
So
I think Tony's gonna hang out with Tajmil this time.
all right, so that's basically how it looks. You guys are traveling through the basin, very lush, very fertile area. The land is just ripe for any kind of farming, or even just the wild fruits, and the land is just rich and ready for people to live there. And you're traveling along in this wagon, and it's very slow going because there's been no established paths or roads, and this is the first time anybody's setting off this way.
Okay.
Oh, wait, were we spending advancements?
Yeah. But Tajmil kind of asked about the scene. We got sidetracked.
Sorry.
Well, we got sidetracked, but yeah, you definitely can spend advancements if you want to.
Yeah, I got sidetracked myself reading them. I am going to advance my charm by 1.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to do the same thing, advance my charm.
Really? You want to do the charm? I didn't think that was Merida's specialty.
Have you seen how much she's tried to charm people?
Oh, I guess I haven't been paying attention.
I mean, it's
How do
either
I-
charm or wits for her, right?
Yeah.
Maybe influence. Influence would be a good one for her to bump up too.
I have pretty high influence right now.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, she can change laws.
Oh, really?
I can
and
change
then-
laws.
Boom!
How
Really?
many does she have?
Damn.
Has to be at least 8
6.
or 6.
Okay.
6. Speaking of which, do
A
I get to
character with
recover
6 or more dice can influence, may attempt to change, suspend, or create laws.
Damn.
Damn.
She really is the shadowy person pulling the strings.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, your health and spirit would everybody's, I guess Tajmil's the only one who's really been hurt, but reset all your stats.
Right
Even
on.
resources?
Your resources are -2, which is a good thing.
Oh, so
Do
I have.
Do I
have
reset
extra,
my resources?
I have extra resources.
I think I just spent some on the trip, so I don't think it would make sense to do that. But
Was it 4? I think you're at 2 permanent spent, and then you had spent 4. So you're at 6 right now.
sounds good to me.
One of the few times Lord Falcom is richer than Tony.
And I think that wraps up all of the long rest stuff. So, were there any small scenes, like small discussions that you might want to do between Tony and Tajmil, or Merida and Lord Falcom, or possibly Merida and Avirs, or any other combination of any of that?
Yeah, I just remembered that Tajmil is my book guy. So, Tajmil, what book did you bring me to read today?
I would hand him over my pad of paper and my pen, and I would show him the comic book that I am currently working on. And what would be the name of this book, of this comic series? We will just call it what is the city in this universe that starts with a V?
I
Make
can
it up.
tell you some that don't exist yet.
Oh, okay, all right.
There's not really a lot of cities. There's probably settlements.
I've established that they've gotten Iron Gate set up, or Dryport set up. And I think there was one other city that I had mentioned. I can't remember any that would have started with a V from before the Catasandra.
Let's make one up. Vinsburg.
There's Fadric City.
That sounds kind of suggestive. We'll just say Venice. All right, this comic book series.
Venice.
Venice. Okay,
Yes.
Yeah. That's the town of Venice that was found. It was a small town in the Final Empire that was renamed after the fall of the Lord Ruler and only existed for about 3 years.
Okay, well, the name of this series, and then you got to understand, Tony, this is a work in progress. So, you're not just going to get a book suggestion from me. You're going to get a series created for you. And this is called The Merchant of Venice. And it's starring our hero, Limjot, who he is somebody who he does his taxes.
Tajmil, let me stop you right there. This is cool. I'm glad you got a thing, but this isn't gonna make me smarter. I'm trying to get smarter. What other books you got?
I would flip through my books and see if I can find one about the human digestive system, and hand it over. Listen, you want to get smart. I see all these eggheads reading about guts and stuff like that. Why don't you try this out? Maybe it'll help you out.
Whoa, this is totally disgusting. Great suggestion, Tajmil.
Insane.
I think Lord Falcom would be riding up front with Merida and probably say something like, I'll never get used to this scenery. I guess growing up pre-Catasandra, none of this makes sense. Still so strange. Do you remember before? I'm talking to Merida.
Do I remember before?
You probably would have been at oldest like 3 years old.
So she's gonna be like, no.
You're not missing out on much. A lot of ash. No, none of...
I guess you could have been 5 or 6, depending on how old you want Merida to be.
I'm 27.
So you would remember.
Okay. So then she's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's changed a lot, but some things don't change, I guess. We're still going out to barter with Kolos and look over at the, is the merchant nearby?
The merchant is still in Elendel, but Avir's would be probably riding up front, not too far away in the wagon with you guys.
I don't know what that's all about. I don't know what he seeks to gain from Kolos. But we're getting paid.
Yeah, getting paid is very good. I think going to talk to the Kolos could be a very interesting thing. Very, very much a learning opportunity.
Oh, you've never met Kolos before?
Not particularly, no.
Let me tell you, just like the ash falls, you're not missing much. Actually, you're probably happier the way you are. And Falcom probably just look off into the distance after that one.
Merda probably just looks at him and just kind of like creases her eyes like she's so confused, and then just like ignores him.
Okay. Any other scenes we want to do? You could do cross the crew like at a campfire at night or something. If you guys wanted to discuss the upcoming heist in...
All right.
Well, but, be subtle about it because you are with a group of other people.
I got an idea, guys. Why don't we see about these other people if they're interested in having a chili cook-off? And
according to this book, chili doesn't sit well with the digestive system.
See, Tony, you're smarter already.
I know, it's working. High five.
So what do you guys say, though? Maybe we can make a milder
roll
version.
for chili, I guess.
Roll for chili? How many dice is that?
Let's make this a wits.
Oh, boy. So this is going to be 4 dice.
They agree to your chili cook-off, and they are going to bring their A game.
Maybe it would be resources.
I've got 3 6s and a 5.
I think it should be like some mixed roll. 1, he has to be able to create chili. 2, he has to have the stuff for chili. 3,
I just
chili
figured
has
when
to
you said
exist
good.
in the Mistborn universe.
That's one I was going to ask about that. Do they have beans and tomatoes?
They have a
And
bunch of different lentils and like beans and stuff. That's pretty much what they subsisted off in the final Empire area, was like root vegetables and stuff. But I don't
We
know
can make a
about
chili,
chilies, like the spicy pepper part. I don't know where that'll come
We'll
from.
just mix dirt into it.
Southern
Give it a little bit
Scadrial.
of kick.
Chili does exist in Scadrial. Chili does not exist in this campsite, because after Tajmil brings his pot of chili up, and they bring their pot of chili up, the entire group agrees that both pots are fucking terrible.
Wow, the
Well,
book was right.
I gave it my best. Maybe I should have read the cookbook that I'm carrying for a later encounter with you, Tony.
Yeah, that probably would have helped. What's a cookbook?
All in due time.
Okay, does anybody want to talk about anything relevant to the plot lines before we keep going? No, okay.
So what does a Koloss look like?
Well, it really depends on the maturity of the Koloss, what they appear to be. The younger ones are a little bit taller than good friend Falcom here, and they can grow to be about 7 or 8 feet. Blue skin, and the larger ones start to grow out of it, so it tears at the corners, and you can see the sinew underneath.
And what about the immature ones?
Oh, those squatter, and they're just as mean and nasty as the larger specimens, but the skin hangs off of them and kind of bubbles around, and it doesn't fit very well because it doesn't grow. They grow into the skin.
Ew.
Oh.
I think Merda turns to the rest of the group and is like, so are we in agreement that Lord Falcone doesn't come close to the Koloss?
Well, he's definitely not blue.
I meant he shouldn't come with us to talk with him, because he might cause a riot.
No.
Oh,
I'll be
yeah.
fine.
That's probably a good thing.
I'm hired for a job right now. I'm a professional. Before
And I appreciate that.
Before all this, I was a soldier paid to fight the Koloss. So I don't have a lot of good feelings for him, but I specifically should be there in case something does go wrong. You'll want me there.
So you're
Oh,
sure...
I didn't know you were a soldier.
Well, I was lord of a noble house. I led a small routine of soldiers.
I can tell you that my father, as Lord of a noble house, never led any soldiers.
Well, that's his shortcomings, aren't they?
I feel like I should be offended, but I don't like him, so that's okay.
Truth be told, I'm more worried about that one sitting right there. And he points to Tajmil. He threw quite a fit when he
Christ.
heard that we were going after the Koloss.
Well, you gotta understand, though, these guys, they're basically jerks. I don't know if you remembered the national tragedy that was the siege on Luthadel, but let's just say we got a little bad blood between us.
Wait, so Tajmil's the one whose parents died by the Koloss?
Yes.
Oh, I thought that was Lord Falcone.
Mm-mm.
No, Lord Falcom also hates Koloss with a passion,
okay.
but more because
For different reasons.
more because he saw a lot of people die to them while he was trying to kill the Koloss.
Oh, okay. Merda's probably just like, there's a lot of bad blood here, and I don't want this going south.
Tajmil,
Let me see if this book
can
says
you
anything
handle
about
yourself
the
around these guys? They're not the same guys that took part in the siege of Luthadel. That's almost assured.
Listen, I'm not the one claiming that all Koloss look like, but you have to understand that I probably shouldn't go into this situation given my short fuse and predicaments I found myself in already.
Then
You can work on your book.
There you go.
You assured me
first
he would
issue.
not be a problem. Is that changed? Because I can still arrange to have him sent back.
He can guard the wagons while he works on his book. Take a look. It's got pretty pictures.
I don't see a situation occurring where there are not Koloss coming to the wagons at some point or other, should I be able to get what I have come to acquire. Now,
All right,
if
wait,
that is
can we-
the case, that this will be a problem, then we need to figure this out right here and now.
Can we metagame right now?
Sure.
Okay, is there any sort on the wagon? Is there any sorts of medications? Here's what I'm getting at. You remember in the A-Team, I ain't getting in no chopper, fool. You know, and they had to give Mr. T the milk to get him on the helicopter.
So
Yeah,
we're drugging you?
I don't think there are any sedatives in this wagon.
We actually have somebody who is the exact opposite of a sedative.
Yeah.
If we had a soother, yeah, we could take you along and just keep you real chill.
I could riot his sense of exhaustion,
Yeah, there you go. That's it. Yeah.
just like I did to you when we ran into the Koloss last time.
Yeah, Tony, don't use your allomancy on the Koloss. Just do not. I'm telling you that straight up.
Why? I can make them feel happy. They like being happy, right?
If this is supposed
Wait a minute. This might be something that I could use. Is there some reason that you know about that they should not be rioted? Because our good friend here might make it much easier to achieve our goal here tonight.
I could do a magic trick.
I
and then
don't
immediately pull out the
feel
cards
like
and they scatter all over the place.
I don't feel like they'll be responsive. How many dealings have you had with the Koloss in the past, or mister?
Well, if I already had what I came to acquire, I would not be going to meet with them in the first place.
So you've never met Koloss before in your life?
We do not need to say that I have not met the Koloss, but this will be the first time I have initiated trade negotiations. However, that is not without precedent, because Lacal did the same thing during that very siege that our friend Tajmil here so dearly does not want me to forget.
Hey, I got an idea. Maybe I could be of some use in this negotiation, because I remember I was begging and pleading for my mother's life with one of them, but, I mean, that deal didn't work out. But maybe this one will.
What are you going to offer them?
Friendship. And,
No, I'm talking to the actual tradesman.
Oh, I'm good at friendship.
I think I have discovered a currency that would be most intriguing to the Koloss.
And that is?
It's not very specific.
Well, I was hoping to not spoil the surprise until we got here, but go ahead and actually give me a influence roll, Falco. Or
Me?
no, make it a charm roll, Falco.
Oh, come on. Influence is nice. But let me find dice.
Give you +1 for your nobleman's bearing.
Okay. 3 3s and a 4.
But I suppose there's no harm in letting the cat out of the bag early. And he gets up and he walks over to a wagon and he pulls a crowbar out from like one of some place where it's stashed and hands it to you to Falcom in order to have you rip open the top of one of the very large, very heavy crates.
He does it one-handed.
Okay, yeah, you just casually like flick your wrist a little bit and the lid pops up, and as you move it to the side in the dying light of the sunset at the end of the night as you guys have been traveling, you see the gleam of the light on the metal of these very vicious, very sleek looking butcher's cleavers that are the size of Koloss blades. But it's obvious that like great care and attention has been put into making these blades, because you've seen quite a number of Koloss blades before. I imagine you've even wielded 1 or 2 of them in your past, and these are a cut in quality above anything that you've seen the Koloss use before.
Well, this hasn't gone well.
Hey, where are the cats?
That is a figure of speech, my dear friend.
Oh,
Lord Falcom is just
I
like
was excited.
staring into this box at this point. He's like, he's lost.
They're beautiful, aren't they? Why, I know that
Very
you
shiny.
Have you ever seen what one of these does to a human being? Or 2, 3 human beings in a row? And you want to give them better swords?
The devil is in the details, my dear friend. Because if they are swinging those swords at the people who I want them to be swung at, then there is no issue.
And are we starting a war?
I can promise with 100% certainty that if it is my choice, these Kolos will never harm a human being again in their lives. Or even each other. I plan on keeping them so busy building a new society that they won't even think about violence.
You obviously don't understand Skolas. Violence is their primary objective. It's wired into their
All of that
very
has changed
being.
ever since Rune has been taken out of the equation. Now, Kolos are still Kolos. Do not get me wrong. There's a reason that I asked for a pewter arm to come along this mission for me with a considerably well-crafted weapon of your own, I might add. However, with the changes that Harmony has made and stated were put in place in the words of founding, I believe that this will be even easier than when James LaCal used, or was it LaCal? I'm pretty sure it was LaCal.
Yeah, I think you're right.
When he
Justice,
used
isn't
wooden painted coins to hire his own.
And then they killed everyone, didn't they? Isn't that how the story goes, Merda?
Well, but that's what he paid them to do. I do not want them to hurt anybody. I want them... The best weapon is the one that you never have to swing. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No.
There are those...
I like the kitty idea. I think kitties would have made an excellent gift. And how are kitties going to cause them to get violent? Everyone loves kitties. They're cute. You can pet them. They make meow sounds.
My question is, after you give them these weapons, what is your guarantee that they won't kill you?
Because I believe that the Kolos have changed enough and are not so dissimilar from human beings that they will not listen to reason. They listened before when they were getting cheated. I am not going to cheat the Kolos. But I am also not going to let the most untapped resource in the Elendel Basin go to waste because of some old ideas about how God controlled their minds and caused them to hurt people. I know that was the case, but things have changed, and this is the greatest opportunity that anyone has ever had since the Lord Ruler created the noble system in itself.
Lord Falcom's going to pick up one of the Kolos swords.
It feels very well balanced in your hand. You can just tell that when you've held them before, they were just meant to be big and have an edge. These are crafted to be well-wielded.
They're actual
weapons.
swords, not
I mean, they still have
scrap
the cleavage
iron
shape.
turned into a cleaver.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so they're
He's
made out of
gonna
steel?
flick it through the air and put it into the ground point first and say, you say you want to help build their society. Why are these not farm tools? You could have made 100 plows out of this metal. You could have taught them to farm. You could have taught them anything.
These are not the tools they will be working with. This is strictly to get me to the table.
Well,
I don't think you fully understand. I don't want them building a society for themselves. I want them building a society for myself. Let's just cut to brass tacks here. There are those in Elendel who do not want to see me succeed. They claim that I am not a real nobleman, that my house is a sham, and that any work that I do is already salted earth and needs to be just exterminated. I am doing what I am doing to ensure that those enemies who are judging me by slander and false information are never able to stop me from making my mark in the Elendel Basin and creating my own version of Elendel, my own city. It would be a beacon of trade and humanity and art and education.
I think Merida is just gonna grab Lord Falcom and just pull him over and try to talk to him privately.
I'm gonna leave the Koloss sword buried in the ground. And then I'll walk over with Merida.
So Merida's gonna be like, I was at first okay with negotiating with them, but this guy sounds like a lunatic. Sounds like he'll bring, like, destruction where he goes. He's crazy.
So, I see we only have a couple choices here, Merida. You're the most reasonable person out of our group. And honestly, I'm the one who dragged us into this. I did not know it was going to be like this. If I knew we were going to be giving the Kolosses weapons to swing them to the side of some crackpot half-nobleman, then no, I don't think we'd even be here. But I don't think us dissenting is going to stop him. Do we go through with the job, try and make sure it goes smoothly as possible, and maybe have a good outcome from it? Or do we just leave this guy to go get murdered by Koloss, I guess? And possibly give them weapons that they'll come murder more people with. It's kind of a tough choice, as far as I see it.
Yeah, I think the best choice right now is to follow him and try to do damage control as much as possible.
I never wanted to find myself in this situation ever again. We'll have to talk with the rest of the group privately later, but we'll let them know what we have planned. I guess we follow along.
Merida nods at him and goes back to the group.
Meanwhile, Tony is rifling through the box. Hey, I think you forgot the brass tacks, too.
Oh.
I think I'm gonna let you handle this. And he kind of shoves Tajmil a little forward towards Tony.
I would push, does he have any steel on him?
Who?
The guy that pushed me towards Tony?
We'll say that he's got, like, coins in a coin pouch, and what you assume is also a couple vials of metal on him.
Are they attached to his pants?
Yeah, they're kind of, like, secured in a loose pocket that's been designed for the, specifically 4 vials of metal.
I'm gonna try and pants him.
Okay.
Okay, +1 for your, deft hands, I think is the...
And then, so how many is that?
With your physique, that'll be a physique of 5.
Okay. Alright, I got nothing, so I got...
You go to grab it, and then as soon as you do, his hand snakes out and, like, kind of twists your wrist just a little bit and sends you stumbling more towards Tony.
Alright.
Wait, did you do it physically or with Allomancy?
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, with Allomancy?
I was gonna... Yeah.
Then, yeah, it just nothing happens.
Oh, okay. Right on. Yeah, it was worth a shot.
Do you two have any questions while your compatriots are discussing the situation here?
You talking to me?
You and your dim friend Tony there.
I'd start flipping a coin. I'd be like, yeah, I got a question. Which eye do you want me to blacken first?
What? Did I miss something?
Yeah, you missed something. This guy's he's the same type of scum that gave those blades that killed my parents.
I can assure you, I am nowhere near the level of bastard that the Lord Ruler was.
Yeah, he wants to give them kitties. He just forgot them.
I don't know. All I see is a bunch of blades, and someone saying that they're going to sell them to the Koloss and stuff.
Let me frame this in another way, and we'll say that this is when Falcom and Merida come back up and rejoin them. If I leave these Koloss as is, they still have swords. They're not as good swords, but they have swords, and they have no direction other than whatever tribal cultural direction takes them. Now, if they become under my direction, sure, they'll have slightly better swords. But that's not going to change how dangerous they are. They can kill a man with the old sword the same as they would with the new. But that gives them a human who is directing their actions, who wants them to learn how to build a house, how to build a ship, how to pave a road, how to create a new city that will be the shining jewel of the Elendel Empire.
Oh, come on. You're trying to put lipstick on a pig. It's still a pig.
Tajmil, calm down.
No, they're Kolos.
Have you ever...
I
Do you
don't-
know how leaders are chosen in a Kolos tribe?
I'm prepared to pay that price as well.
Oh. You're willing to go that far, huh?
I'm not going to make the transformation, no, because I don't want to lose that vision that I have. But I am prepared to do what needs to be done to make this work.
What if they don't want to build houses? What if they want to live in caves instead?
Well, that's something that I can worry about after this deed is done.
So, this is metagame. If I remember correctly, the leader Kolos is the one that, like, is the strongest, right?
Yeah, generally speaking, there used to be just random fights between Kolos, and randomly, and they didn't necessarily have leaders other than when the Lord Ruler would take direct command of them. And then any, like, lieutenants or anybody from noble houses who would be put in charge of a Kolos army. And so, like, a lot of what would be known about their culture now is, just guesswork, or just trusting what Harmony said, that the influence of ruin that made them so rage-filled is no longer there, and that they're slightly different than they used to be.
Okay, so Merda's gonna be like, so you're saying you're willing to take, like, that initiative to become the leader, but why did you hire us if you're strong enough to become the leader?
Well, you've hit to the crux of another matter. I did not hire you with the anticipation that I would need you for the Kolos.
Explain.
Then why did you
What?
hire us?
As I said, I have many enemies inside of the Elendel, and I am sure that my plans have gotten out at least enough information to make it so that some could guess what my intentions are. I do not expect that we will get to the Kolos camp without running into some sort of trouble.
What guarantee do you have that this is going to even work?
There are no guarantees, but only those who dare to risk greatly will ever accomplish greatly.
But doesn't that equally expose us to tragedy greatly?
Well, that's a risk that I'm willing to take. If it's not something that you're interested in, then you can leave now.
I don't know. You've got me halfway between interests and halfway between, I can't believe I'm saying this, but the first person I think I'm about ready to call the police on in my entire life.
Let's do it, Tajmil. We're gonna be the bestest, most famousest adventurers in the whole world. And if we're the ones who get the Kolos to build roads and buildings instead of killing people, I say that's how we go down in history.
I think it still sounds like a fool's plan.
That's okay. I'm a fool, so it works out.
Tajmil, we're paid to do a job. Can you do the job? We'll talk later about
You know,
everything, but
I'll do the job under one condition. If this goes south, I'm going to pull this guy's pants down.
well,
That doesn't sound so bad. I'm okay with that.
maybe he's a
I'm okay
little
with
into
it.
that. Maybe that's
But no, it's going to be in front of everyone in a cafeteria.
What's a cafeteria?
It's,
A mess hall.
don't worry about it. There you go. Yeah, a mess hall.
Oh, okay.
It's like a dining room, but for the lower class.
Yeah, I've spent many a
Oh,
meal.
we
in
should
there.
get an upper class one then.
I'll make sure the Kolos build one just for you.
Well, thank you.
Are there any other questions before we wrap up this little powwow now that I've bared my soul to all of you?
I think Merda's just gonna shake her head.
I'd just urge caution with all of this. I think you're going
Well, I
in
got
with
one more question.
good intentions, good enough at least, but this could quickly get away from you, and I don't even know depending on the situation, if us four will even be any help with the actual Koloss. If your enemies send some people after us, I don't see us having problems there. But the Koloss is impossible to fight if they're in a fighting mood.
Well, with any luck, that won't be a problem. I do not anticipate problems with the Koloss. I'm sincerely hoping that we do not have any altercations with them. And as long as our side does not do anything stupid, I do not think that it would be in the Koloss's interests to attack us either. Now, if Tajmil here decides that he wants to get a little revenge for his killed parents, then, well, we might all end up dead in a ditch, and history will never know any of our names. But if we're able to keep level heads, I think that we can do exactly what young Tony here has said. Or, I guess Tony's not that young. We can do what Tony here has said, and we can be known as those who have tamed the Koloss and brought them to bring the Elendel Basin prosperity for years to come. Decades, centuries, generations. Why, if this works, my great-great-great-great-great-grandson could have a whole team of Koloss who are loyal to Elendel. Imagine a future like that.
I just think that this is really, I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to do it, and I'll keep cool, but I swear to God that if this goes south, I'm going to pull your pants down so hard.
Duly noted.
Tony just riots everyone but Falcom's sense of excitement.
Merda feels no excitement.
Merda, go ahead and roll it. Roll your spirit. Tony, roll yours. Tajmil, roll your... Well, Tony, roll your rioting. Tajmil, roll your spirit.
I got 3 2s. But, like, isn't it that there has to be some emotion to riot? Because Merda is,
I'm
terrified.
The difficulty, adding in your roll as a factor.
Okay.
Sorry, it took me a second to look it up. I rolled a pair of 5s and a nudge.
I got 3 5s.
But do you have a nudge?
No.
I set the base difficulty at 3, since I didn't think there'd be very much excitement at all, and I was adding their rolls into it. So, Merida does feel a small tingle of excitement. Tajmil does not. Which I think is appropriate, because Tajmil has more reason to hate the Koloss.
Okay. Merida is just glaring at Tony.
Tony pretends not to
No,
see
but
it.
does anybody say anything about the whole thing? Or is it just glares?
As this is transpiring, let me do a quick roll. Aviers walks over and he puts one hand on the Koloss sword and tugs upward, and it comes free of the ground. And then he slides it back into the box and takes a hammer and hammers all the nails back in, so it's sealed shut once more.
So wait, he just picked it up pretty
Tony
easily?
claps.
Yeah, it looked pretty effortless.
Ah,
Merida does not like him.
I see. So, when I was looking at the swords, were they my, I forget his name, my, Elantrian friend?
You could definitely notice, like, he will say he's like a little sign that he put into the pommel of your Makawitl, and you saw the same one inscribed on that, as well as seeing them load the crates from his shop onto the carts.
Ooh, fancy. And you didn't even make him roll.
I mean, I figured that'd be pretty easy to notice.
Yeah, I mean, like, he just spent a couple weeks crafting my weapon, if I can't tell his handiwork a little bit. And anyways, most craftsmen during, like, that time probably would have had a mark or trademark or whatever. Say, this is me. I did this.
And I mean, they loaded the boxes from his shop, so that's pretty much a depth.
Yeah, I just wanted to be sure.
Tajmil, let me swap back out for the word of founding. I want to read back up about the Koloss and this Justice guy.
All right. I just take the book and swap it out for whichever one. What did you say? The
Words of Founding.
Words of Founding. Oh, here it is. There you go.
Thank you kindly.
We will say then that if you guys didn't want anything else in that scene, everybody goes to bed a little bit uneasy except for Tony, since he's pretty flippant. And then you wake up. The next 2 days pass without incident. And then at the very end of the night, after everybody's going to bed, somebody, will say that maybe on Merida's watch, since she would be the one who's most observant, she hears the approaching sound of horse hooves against the ground from the distance. And she rouses of Years First, who instantly goes on alert and tells her to wake up the rest of the crew, because it was most certainly his enemies sending. Well, we can just do that in character. We should definitely get everybody up, because this is what I've been waiting for, what I anticipated, and this is the reason that you are here. So hopefully, the force isn't too large and they'll be rebuffed easily. But be ready, because here comes trouble. And we'll go ahead and call it there.
Okay.
Hooray!
Hey.
So thank you everybody for listening. Hope you enjoyed this episode as well. I think that we got really deep into the role play, and that was a lot of fun for me at the very least. I hope the rest of the crew feels the same way, and that you listeners join us next time. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Mistborn and all related properties are owned by Brandon Sanderson and Dragonsteel Entertainment. The Mistborn adventure game is a product of Crafty Games. Special thanks to Steve Argyle for letting us use his artwork for the logo, and to Boardroom Design for putting the logo together for us. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at LLOS Podcast, or give us an email at lostlegendsofscadrial@gmail.com. We hope that you'll like and share and give us a review on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time.
Okay. Do these other people, are they actually gonna? Are they gonna be narrated?
Avir's at the very least will be. I don't know how many other NPCs I want to just pop out of thin air.
All right, because just trying to live sort of true to the meme from earlier, and all right, I got an idea, guys.
I got the adventure book open to the name page, so I'm good on that front.